ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिम् यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ
ॐ
श्री
श्री
परमात्मने
परमात्मने
नमः।
अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः।
अथ
अथ
त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः।
त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
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 श्लोक नंबर 28। समं सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरम्
समं सर्वेषु
सर्वेषु
भूतेषु
भूतेषु
तिष्ठन्तं
तिष्ठन्तं
परमेश्वरम्
परमेश्वरम्
विनश्यत्स्व विनश्यन्तं यः पश्यति स पश्यति
विनश्यत्स्व
विनश्यन्तं यः
विनश्यत्स्तं यः
पश्यति स
पश्यति स
पश्यति।
पश्यति।
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम्
समं पश्यन् हि
पश्यन् हि
सर्वत्र
सर्वत्र
समवस्थितमीश्वरम्।
समवस्थितमीश्वरम्
न हि नस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्।
न
न
हि
हि
नित्यात्मनात्मानं
नत्यात्मनात्मानं ततो
याति परां
याति
गतिम्।
परां गतिम्।
प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः
प्रकृत्यैव च
प्रकृत्यैव च
कर्माणि
कर्माणि
क्रियमाणानि
क्रियमाणानि
सर्वशः
सर्वशः।
यः पश्यति तथात्मानमकर्तारं स पश्यति
यः
यः
पश्यति
पश्यति तथात्मानम्
तथात्मानमकर्तारं स पश्यति।
अकर्तारं स पश्यति।
यथा भूतपृथग्भावमेकस्थमनुपश्यति
यदा
यदा
भूतपृथक्
भूतपृथग्भावमेकस्थम्
भावमेकस्थमनुपश्यति
अनुपश्यति
तत एव च विस्तारं ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा।
तत एव च
एव च
विस्तारं
विस्तारं
ब्रह्म
ब्रह्म
सम्पद्यते
सम्पद्यते
तदा।
तदा।
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः।
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः।
परमात्मायमव्ययः।
शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते।
शरीरस्थोऽपि
शरीरस्थोऽपि
कौन्तेय
कौन्तेय
न
न करोति
करोति
न
न
लिप्यते।
लिप्यते।
यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यदाकाशं नोपलिप्यते।
यथा
यथा
सर्वगतं
सर्वगतं
सौक्ष्म्यादाकाशं
सौक्ष्म्यादाकाशोपलिप्यते।
नोपलिप्यते।
सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते।
सर्वत्रावस्थितो
सर्वत्रावस्थितो
देहे
देहे
तथात्मानोपलिप्यते।
तथात्मानोपलिप्यते।
यः सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं पश्यति सः पश्यति। विनश्यत्सु भूतेषु सर्वेषु भूतेषु प्राणिषु प्राणिदेहेषु देहानां नाशः भवति न तु देहिनः। अतः विनश्यत्सु सर्वेषु भूतेषु प्राणिषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं यः परमात्मानं पश्यति सः पश्यति। सः एव पश्यति, सम्यक् पश्यति, सम्यक् जानाति, उक्तार्थं जानाति, उक्तोपदेशं जानाति। भगवतः यत् उपदिष्टं तत् जानाति, पश्यति। सः एव पश्यति, अन्यः न पश्यति। अन्यः यद्यपि नेत्रे वर्तेते तथापि न पश्यति। समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र, सर्वत्र समं ब्रह्म पश्यति। सम 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 अवस्थितं सम्यक् अवस्थितम् ईश्वरः समः। ईश्वरः सर्वत्र विद्यते, न तु तारतम्येन सर्वत्र विद्यते ईश्वरः। अतः यः पश्यति सः न हिनस्ति, तस्य नाशः न भवति ईश्वरत्वात्। अतः सः न हिनस्ति। आत्मना आत्मानं यः पश्यति सः न हिनस्ति। ततः इत्युक्ते जीवन् एव यः पश्यति सः मरणान्तरं ततः इति मरणान्तरं परां गतिं ब्रह्मगतिं मुक्तिं प्राप्नोति याति। अतः प्रकृत्या यानि कर्माणि दृश्यन्ते क्रियमाणानि सन्ति दृश्यन्ते तानि सर्वाणि कर्माणि प्रकृत्या एव भवति। सर्वाणि कर्माणि प्रकृत्या एव काय करणसङ्गातेन एव देहेन्द्रियरूपेण एव प्रकृत्या एव क्रियते, न तु आत्मना, न तु पुरुषात्मना। इति यः पश्यति, यः जानाति अहम् आत्मा अकर्ता इति, सः एव पश्यति। अतः आत्मनः कर्तृत्वं नास्ति। अतः अहं न कर्ता, अहं नैव कर्ता, अहं नैव भोक्ता इति। यथा यथा भूतानां पृथक् भावं, पृथक्त्वं, नानात्वं, भूतानां पृथक्त्वं नानात्वम् अनुपश्यति, अनुभवति। भूतानि भूतानां नानात्वम्, अनेकानि भूतानि सन्ति जगति, किन्तु एकस्थं तेषु सर्वे कुत्र तिष्ठन्ति, ईश्वर एव सर्वाणि भूतानि तिष्ठन्ति। अतः यद्यपि भूतानां नानात्वम् अस्ति, किन्तु एकस्थम् एकस्मिन् एव अधिकरणे आत्मनि एव सर्वाणि भूतानि तिष्ठन्ति यदा अनुपश्यति अनु इति शास्त्रानुसारं श्रवणम् अनुपश्यति शास्त्र श्रवणात् यः जानाति अनुपश्यति गुरु सकाशात् गुरु उपदेशेन यः पश्यति अनुभवति सः यः पश्यति ततः एव विस्तारं ततः इत्युक्ते ब्रह्मणः एव विस्तारं जगतः उत्पत्तिः भवति इति यः पश्यति सः ब्रह्म संपद्यते सः ब्रह्म प्राप्नोति तस्मादेतस्माद् आत्मनः आकाशाद् वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्निरापः अद्य पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधिभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुष इति तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदि यत् उक्तं सर्वं ब्रह्मणः एव जायन्ते सर्वाणि वस्तूनि विस्तारं तदेव विस्तारं सृष्टिः यः पश्यति सः ब्रह्म आपद्यते सर्वं ब्रह्म इति ज्ञात्वा ब्रह्म आपद्यते अहं ब्रह्म इति ज्ञात्वा ब्रह्म संपद्यते ब्रह्मणि लीयते एव सः ब्रह्मलीनम् अन्ते भवति ब्रह्म संपद्यते तदेव ब्रह्म सम्पादनम् अहं ब्रह्म इति ज्ञानमेव ब्रह्म सम्पादनम् अतः एव उक्तम् अस्ति अत्र अतः ब्रह्म संपद्यते तस्मिन् काले यदा जानाति तदा एव ब्रह्म संपद्यते तस्य ब्रह्मणः अत्र अग्रिमश्लोके 32तमे श्लोके कीदृशं ब्रह्म इति उक्तम् अस्ति ब्रह्मणः रूपं स्वरूपं किम् इति पृच्छेत् सच्चित् आनन्दरूपः ब्रह्म अतः तद्ब्रह्म अनादिः अनादित्वात् अनादित्वात् निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मा अयं परमात्मा अव्ययः इति अयं परमात्मा अनात्मनः भिन्नः प्रत्यक्ष असौ आत्मा प्रत्यगात्मा सह एव परमात्मा परं च असौ आत्मा परमात्मा पुरुषः क्षेत्रज्ञः क्षेत्रदृष्ट्या क्षेत्रज्ञः जगद्दृष्ट्या परमात्मा ईश्वरः इति सः अव्ययः विनाशरहितः न वेति तस्य नाशः न भवति अतः न विनश्यति व्ययः नास्ति कस्य व्ययः भवति यस्य गुणाः सन्ति तस्य एव व्ययः सम्भवति केषां गुणाः सन्ति यत् यस्य अवयवाः सन्ति तस्य एव गुणाः सन्ति निरवयवत्वात् निर्गुणत्वात् गुणः अपि नास्ति अतः तस्य आदिः अपि नास्ति निर्गुणत्वात् निर्धर्मकत्वात् सगुणानाम् एव व्ययनं सम्भवति निर्गुणानां न निर्गुणः अतः निर्गुणत्वात् शरीरे तिष्ठति अपि शरीरस्थः अपि न करोति न लिप्यते न कर्मफलैः लिप्यते स्पृश्यते इति अयम् आत्मा अनादित्वात् निरवयवत्वात् निर्गुणत्वात् शरीरे यद्यपि तिष्ठति तथापि न करोति अयम् आत्मा अव्ययः अव्ययत्वात् तस्य जन्म मरण इति विकारः नास्ति अतः अनादिः अनादित्वात् निर्गुणत्वं निर्गुणत्वात् शरीरे अपि यद्यपि शरीरे तिष्ठति तथापि न करोति कर्म न अस्ति आत्मनः कर्म अभावात् कर्मफलम् अपि नास्ति अतः कर्मफलैः अपि न लिप्यते। अत्र दृष्टान्तद्वयं भगवता उक्तं 33तमश्लोके 34तमश्लोके यथा आकाशः सूक्ष्मरूप आकाशः व्याप्तं सर्वगतं भवति सूक्ष्म्यात् आकाशः व्योम आकाशः सूक्ष्मत्वात् असंगस्वभावत्वात् सूक्ष्मत्वात् असंगः सूक्ष्मत्वात् असंगः इति वक्तुं न शक्यते। सूक्ष्मत्वात् आकाशः असंगः आकाशः केनापि न लिप्यते। आकाशः कथं सूक्ष्मत्वात् आकाशः आकाशं सर्वगतम् आकाशं न लिप्यते। आकाश शब्दः नपुंसकलिंग शब्दः इति ज्ञातुं शक्यते। आकाशं न लिप्यते नोपलिप्यते कर्मणि प्रयोगः आकाशं न लिप्यते सर्वगतम् आकाशं न लिप्यते आकाशं न लिप्यते। आकाश शब्दः पुल्लिङ्गे अपि वर्तते अत्र अस्मिन् श्लोके नपुंसकलिङ्गे वर्तते आकाशं सर्वगतम् आकाशं न लिप्यते लिप्यते इति कर्मणि सूक्ष्मत्वात् यथा आकाशं न लिप्यते तद्वत् सूक्ष्मात् सूक्ष्मतर आत्मा सर्वत्र अवस्थितः आत्मा देहे अपि सर्वत्र अवस्थितः अतः देहे अपि अस्ति अतः आत्मा अपि न लिप्यते कर्मणा न लिप्यते कर्मफलैः अपि न लिप्यते। अतः आत्मा क्षेत्रज्ञः पुरुषः देहधर्मैः न उपलिप्यते। Up to that shloka we have seen. Now 34. We are going to complete this chapter. So that's a shloka. Another drishtanta Bhagavan gives. These two drishtantas are famous to explain Brahma. But these are two closest example, but there is no parallel example. One example is Akasha. Akasha is the Sukshma thing. Sukshma vastu among the Panchabhutas, that is only Sukshma. Sukshmatamaha. Sukshmatvad api Sukshmaha, Ishvaraha, Atma, Paramatma. Karanatva, that is the Karanam. That's why Tasmad Etasmat Akasha Sambhutaha. Akasha is born, that is also born, a product. Karya, Karyam, Karyatvat, Kriyamanatvat. Kriyamanatvat, it is Kriyamanatvat Satyam Nabhavati. It is the product, it's a Karyam. Yadyapi Angani na santi, tatapi यद्यपि अंगानि सन्ति न व्येति तथापि आकाशः ब्रह्म न भवति कार्यत्वात् आकाशस्यापि कारणं ब्रह्म आकाशः undergoes change, it becomes akashat vayuhu, then vayu or agnihi, but akasha is sukshma. That's the closest example to brahma. Cannot be cut, it can be polluted. Nainam chindanti shastrani, atma akasha also cannot be cut by shastra. Nainam dagati pavaka, pavaka cannot burn atma, akasha also pavaka agni cannot burn. Akasha cannot be made wet, so then akasha is atma. No, that is the closest example. That's why Bhagavan gives example sukshmiyat yata akasham sarvagatam akasham na lipyate tata atma api na upalipyate. Now the next shloka, That Bhagavan says, how, with an illustration of Prakasha, light, how one Atma can illumine all the kshetras. There are many kshetras, many shariras. Therefore, many Atma should be there. No, it is not. It is only one Atma. How can one Atma can illumine all the kshetras? That with the Prakasha Drishtanta, Bhagavan says, the Swedish Shloka number 34. Yatha prakashayat ekah yatha prakashayat ekha krishnam lokamimam ravihi.
यथा
प्रकाशयत्येककृत्स्नं लोकमिमं विहि
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत.
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत
यथा तथा. So drishtanta and dashtanta tata. Drishtanta within yatha phrase, the phrase within yatha, and dashtanta is given within tatha. E bharata, bharata vamshodbhava yatha yadvat ravihi, kati ravihi, kati ravayaha santi. Kati ravihi, only one ravihi, ekaha eva. Ravihi, suryaha, only one, that's why ravihi. Krishnam, the total, the samastam, lokam, the jagat, lokam, Krishnam, lokam, imam, Dvitiya Bhakti, yatha ravihi, imam lokam, Krishnam lokam, imam Krishnam lokam, ekaha, prakashayat ekaha. Ekaha is once. Yatha, one sun. Sun is only one. In our solar systems, there is only one sun. So only one sun, ekaha ravihi, imam Krishnam lokam prakashayati, cause to illumine, prakashayati, avabhasayati. Suryaha ravihi prakashate, lokam prakashayati, cause to, it illumines. That's why it is a cause to shine. That is illumines. Ajanta. So ekaha ravihi, Krishnam lokam prakashayati. Suryaha prakashate, lokan prakashayati. Imam lokam, this Prithvi, this world. So one sun illumines the entire solar system. Tata, in the same way, tata, this kshetri, kshetram asya asti iti kshetrin kshetri, kshetrajnaha ityartah, kshetri, purushaha. With regard to the vyashti upadi, it is called kshetrajna. Samashti upadi, it is Paramatma. Tayoho vedaha nasti. So, the kshetri kshetrajnaha, kshetram, Krishnam kshetram, the entire kshetra. Entire kshetra is this kshetra namakam, this shariram. The shariram. Samastam, the shariram, Krishnam. The entire sharira. The sharira samugha, sharira jatam. The one kshetri, and the kshetri who is obtained in the kshetra, illumines the kshetra. The kshetra is consists of so many parts. So the entire kshetra is illumined by a kshetri. It is the pratehatma. The pratehatma, which is Paramatma, illumines the entire kshetra. It is not only with this body, it includes the body, mind, sense, organs of the entire Jagat world. One Atma. The Atma in me, that is, we say to start with Atma in me, but Atma is myself. Aham Atma. The Atma in me, which illumines the my Sharira Manasangata, is the same Atma which illumines other Sharira Manasangata also. Therefore, there are no many Atma. The Kshetrams are many, but Kshetrajna is one. As Akasha is one, seem to be divided by many parts, by the walls of the pots. Sun is one, it is reflected in different pools. So too Atma is one. It is reflected in many Shariram, and that is called Kshetrajnaha from the Jashti individual standpoint. Therefore, it is Kshetri, Krishnam, Akashagati, Kshetram, Krishnam, Krishnam, Kshetram, the entire field. It that Kshetrajna, that the Kshetrajna is aware of the Kshetra. I, as a Kshetrajna, aware of my Kshetra, aware of the other Kshetra also. So other body, other person becomes the object for me. So illumines, I know the other Kshetram also. So therefore, Kshetrajnaha Krishnam Kshetram Prakashayati, Avabhasayati. Yata Savitra Adityaha Imam Lokam Avabhasayati Tadvat. This Magat Bhutadi Drityantam Kshetram in the Bhashyakara says, we have seen already Magat Bhutadi Drityantam Kshetram. This Kshetra which is formed from the Bhuta, Mahat Bhuta and Bhotika, this Jagat, this Kshetra, Prakashayati, Kshetri. So therefore, all the Bhutas which has come from with a Jatam from this Atma alone and by objectified by Atma alone. So therefore, there is no second Atma, it is one Atma, it is only Ekaha Eva Atma, that which illumines everything. And that Atma, why we say Ekaha, that because if there are many, then each one will be having one Kshetrajna, one Atma. That Atma cannot be divided by space, and space itself cannot be divided. And what to talk about is Atma, which is a cause of even the space. So therefore, that Atma cannot be divided by these walls of the Shariram. What about the mind? The mind is also Sukshma. Akashasya api Sukshma, this mind. But mind is also within time space only, limited by time and space. There is no mind without a thought. And the thought is that the thought cannot be without the content and content, that consciousness, Chaitanya. So it is the Chaitanyam which illumines everything. As a sun illumines the entire Jagat. Similarly, the Kshetrajna, which is the indweller of the Kshetra, illumines the entire Kshetra. Entire Kshetra means it includes all the Sukshma Bhutani, Stula Bhutani, this Bhautika Prapancha. Jnatam Agyatam Va. This known or unknown, everything is illumined by this Kshetrajna. That's one self-effulgent Atma. That is important, self-effulgent. Because Atma doesn't require another Atma for its avabhasanam. There is only once, and that's why Ekaha Atma. And this Atma is the illuminator of everything and not available for objectification. Therefore, it is not affected by anything else. That's why Nopalipyate. It is the objectifier of everything, but it cannot objectify itself. That objectifier of everything, it means that is only a upachara. Atma illumines everything. Illumines, it's not a kriya as such to the Atma. Like the sun which illumines everything, so do the Atma. Illumines everything, Sanidhya Matrena, as we saw in the Bhashyam class. That need to remember. That is why Atma is Akarta Abhokta. So that Atma, that Kshetrajnaha, which is Atma obtained in the Kshetram, Krishnam Kshetram Prakashayati, Avabhasayati, the entire Kshetra, not only my Kshetra, Kshetra of all the beings. Sharir Manasangata, the Kshetra, the entire Suryavata. Yata Suryaha Prakashi Tad Tata. In fact, there is a Shloka which we have seen in Kathopanishad, similar to this. This idea is taken from the Kathopanishad. Yata Suryo Yata Sarvalokasya Chakshuhu Na Lipyate Chakshushai Bhagya Doshaihi. एकस्तथा सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा न लिप्यते लोकदुःखेन भाग्यः इति the Kathopanishad we have seen fifth Valli 11th mantra. Surya is the sarvalokasya chakshu na lipyate chakushaihi bhagyadoshihi. Surya is not affected by the defects of the eyes. You may have defect in your eyes, but Surya is not affected. We may have cataract. Our vision is obstructed, but Surya is never affected. Na lipyate. Similarly, ekaha eva bhutantaratma. This atma is sarva bhutantaratma, sarvesham bhutanam atma. यः आत्मा वर्तते सः एकः एव भाग्य that loka dukkena that lokanam dukkah that is bhagya dukkha. By that it is not tainted, not touched, ever untouched. So that is the drishtanta. Surya is never touched by anything. Suryasya prakashaha, it illumines everything, both the auspicious thing and inauspicious. Both it illumines both the Ganga water and the gutter water, but not touched by it. That is the drishtanta. Similarly, Atma illumines a kshetram, but it's not affected by the properties of the attributes of the kshetra. Kshetra has got limitations. Atma doesn't have any limitations. Kshetra has got attributes. Atma doesn't have attributes. But because of avidya, we do the adhyasa of the attributes of kshetra and the kshetrajna, and therefore only samsara is. That is why Bhagavan before he said and he's going to say, therefore one who knows the distinction between kshetra and kshetrajna, that person, he knows. That person understands the truth. That's why this chapter is also called Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Vibhagaha iti. The knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna, distinct knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. That it involves Viveka. So therefore, like Kshetra and Kshetrajna, Atma Anatma Viveka, to distinctly know Atma, and knowing Atma is Mokshaha iti, you gain that which is already gained. Therefore, what is required is knowledge. That Bhagavan says in next Shloka, that is Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoho Antaram, that is difference. You know it by Jnana Chakshusha. Let us say the Shloka. This is Upasamharartaha Ayam Shlokaha Vartate. It's good. It's the conclusion. Last Shloka. After that, we will see the summary also quickly. Kshetra Kshetrajnayorev Antaram Jnana Chakshusha.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरं ज्ञानचक्षुषा
भूत प्रकृति मोक्षं च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्.
भूतप्रकृतिमोक्ष ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्.
So Kshetra Kshetrajnayoho Evam is so far what we have been listening to. That is Yatokta Prakarena, Ukta Prakarena Evam. Arjuna asked 6 questions and as an reply to that, the entire chapter, Bhagavan taught what is Cheta, what is Kshetrajna, Prakriti, Purusha, Jnanam, Nyayam, 6 topics. Therefore, Evam, Ukta Prakarena, Yatokta Prakarena. And the immediate topic was Kshetra Kshetrajna. So therefore, Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoho, Antaram, the difference, Vailakshanyam, Itaretra Vailakshanyam. One is Vikari, other one is Nirvikari. One is Adiman, other one is Anadiman. One is Saguna, other one is Nirguna. So therefore, Vailakshanyam asti, Vedaha asti, Yaha Vedam Janati Katam Jnana Chakshusha. The Jnana Chakshusha, Jnanam, which is Jnana Chakshusha, that is by the eyes, of knowledge. That is viveka jnanena. That is what third eye is. Third eye is not, it has got some one more eye, vertical eyes in the forehead. It is jnanam. Third eye stands for knowledge. Viveka jnanam. Atma anatma jnanam. Viveka jnanam, that Veda jnanam, clear vision of, clear knowledge of the distinction of Atma and Anatma, Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Jnana Chakshusha, Bhuta Prakriti Moksham. Bhuta is Bhutanam Praninam. Bhutanam Praninam, that is Prakriti. This Bhutanam Prakriti, Prakriti is, which is the Bhuta, the cause of the Bhuta Prakriti. So Bhutanam Prakriti, so Praninam Prakriti, which is the cause of the Bhutas. So Bhuta Prakriti Moksham. Moksham means Moksha Upayam. So Bhuta Prakriti Moksham, that is Moksha, which is the Upaya, the freedom from Prakriti, and Prakriti, which is the cause of the beings, Bhutanam. Bhutanam Hetuhu Prakriti. Bhuta Prakriti Moksham is Prakriti, freedom from the Prakriti. Prakriti Moksha. Moksha is Moksha Upayam. Moksha Upayam is Jnanam, therefore Jnana Chakshusha. So Prakriti Moksham. And that is Vijnana Chakshusha, Ye Viduhu, the one who knows. The difference between the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, one who knows by Viveka Jnanam, and that is the Bhuta Prakriti Moksham. That is the moksha from the moksha upaya from the samsara, from samsara, from this Bhuta Prakriti. Freedom from this Prakriti. Prakriti is Sattvadi Guna Trayatmika Prakriti, Maya. And that subject to when the person is born and undergoes all the vikaras and dies. Therefore, freedom from that. Therefore, moksha from the Prakriti, from this samsara. Yaha viduhu, ye viduhu, ye jananti. Te param. Te param is param brahma, parasmat param brahma, yanti prapnuvanti. Those who knows param brahma, parasmat param brahma, saha, te yanti, te Bhagavachan, te yanti, ye viduhu, te yanti. So therefore the difference between the kshetra and kshetra and kshetrajna, Ukta prakarena ye viduhu, as taught in this chapter, the one who knows. Agam kshetrajnaha, aham purnaha. I alone is obtained in all the kshetras. From me alone this jagat taskam, mayeva sakalam jatam, mayi sarvam layam yati, mayi sarvam pravartate asti, mayi eva sarvam yati ante. Iti yaha janati. And also the kshetra and kshetrajna, when we say kshetrajna is satyam and kshetra is mithya. So the kshetra being mithya, therefore it is not different from the kshetra. In fact, there is no two. That is why advaitam iti. The person who appreciates the difference between kshetra and kshetrajna, that person is a samsari. But one who sees kshetra as mithya, doesn't exist apart from kshetrajna, knows the distinction, at the same time knows that anatma doesn't have existence apart from atma. So therefore, the one who knows, jnana chakshusha, by the eye of knowledge, and that knowledge is obtained only through shastram and the acharya. There is no other way. Shastram is a pramanam. That is why it is chakshush is called, because eyes is the pramanam for seeing colors and forms. Yatha chakshuhu pramanam vartate, chakshu pramanam vartate, tata shastram pramanam vartate. Ishvara Jnana Praptyartham. Otherwise, Ishvara Jnanam Katam Sambhavati. Therefore, the grace of the Shastram, the grace of Ishvara, grace, Atma Kripa, all the Kripas are required. Grace, Atma Kripa, Shastra Kripa, Ishvara Kripa, Shastra Kripa. So that Kripa, Guru Kripa. Therefore, Jnana Chakshu, by that one is able to understand the meaning of the Shastram as taught by the teacher. Therefore, his eye is open, third eye. Before that, he has got cataract, that is the Ajnanam, ignorance. Now this, that's why Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yenat Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This Ajnanatimira is operated and removed by the teacher. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. So therefore this Ajnanatimira is removed, a cataract. It is due to Ajnanam, and that is removed by the Acharya, and the person sees. The doctor only will remove the cataract. Seeing, you open and you see it. You see it. That you see, the doctor cannot see that you see it. You see it, and therefore you appreciate the vision. Therefore, Jnana Chakshusha ye viduhu ye jananti, and that ye jananti te bhuta prakti moksham. Bhutanam, that is, they gain moksha from the cause of all the beings and elements. The bhutas, for all the bhutas, for all the jiva, the cause is Prakriti Maya. The Prakriti Maya, Avidya, all these are synonyms. So the cause for the individual to born is Avidya. Therefore, when this entire Srishti is resolved by knowledge that everything is Ishvara Brahma, then it is a release from samsara. That happens only by jnana. Not that entire Jagat is destroyed. Entire Jagat is resolved as Mithya into that Brahma Vastu. So therefore, this knowledge of the Kshetra and Kshetrajna releases a person from the cause of all the beings, that is Prakriti, that is Maya. See this. And those who understands this, ye viduhu, they param yanti. They reach the yanti gachanti, they attain param brahma, which is oneself. Therefore, there is no reaching. It is a knowledge, it is in the form of knowing. That agam brahma, that is yanti is the upachara. Gachanti, jananti ityastha. Punaha deha prapti na bhavanti tesham. With this, the chapter is concluded. Om Tat Sat.
Om Tat Sat.
Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu
इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु
Upanishadsu
उपनिषत्सु
Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre
ब्रह्मविद्यायां
Vidyayam
योगशास्त्रे
Yogashastre
Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambhade
Shri Krishna Arjuna
श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे
Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogo Namattrayodashodhyayah.
Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञविभागयोगो
Yogo Nama
नाम
Trayodashodhyayah.
त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः
Om is the word Shabda Brahma. It means Brahma, Ishvaraha. Tat Sat, that is the Satyam, that is the truth. Therefore, Om Brahman, that alone, Brahma alone is the truth. Iti Bhagavad Gita, which is Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita, so every chapter is looked upon as Upanishads. Therefore, there are 17 Upanishads, excluding the first chapter, which is only the context, where Jiveshwarayoho Aikyam is revealed. Therefore, it is equated to Upanishad. Mahavakyam, that is the Tatparyam of the Upanishad, and Bhagavad Gita reveals Tathitvam Asi, that with 3 Shatkams. Pratama Shatkam, Tvam, Dvitiya Shatkam Tat, Charama Shatkam, that is for the Charama Shatkam, the first chapter is 13th chapter, Asi, Aikyam. So Jiva, Brahma, Aikyam. Therefore, it is Brahma Vidya. That is Brahma Vidya. Therefore, Brahma Vidya Shastram, the Shastram, Gita Shastram, for which the subject matter is Brahma Vidya. Not only Brahma Vidya, in fact, Gita is the essence of the entire Veda. Therefore, it has got Yoga, or Yoga Shastram also, Karma. Karma is not description of the ritual. Karma in the Purva Bhag of the Veda, but karma is the means. Yoga Shastra. That is, karma is a means for Antakarana Shuddhi, karma upasana. So all the disciplines, prayers, etc. These come under the Yoga Shastra. So that Gita covers it elaborately. Therefore, Yoga Shastra, and that is in the form of Sambhada, a constructive dialogue, Upadesha, Upadesha of the Krishna and Shishya is Arjuna. Between the teacher and the Shishya, then only the Sambhada. Upadesha is involved. Therefore, the Vada is Samvada. Otherwise, it will be Jalpa, Vitanda. Here, the disciple wants to know, therefore, Bhagavan teaches. Therefore, in the form of a dialogue. And the name of the chapter is Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogaha. Yogaha, the topic, the context is Vibhaga, the distinction of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. The knowledge of the discrimination, knowledge of discrimination of the Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Namatrayodasho Jyayaha, that is the 13th chapter. 13th chapter is concluded. Now let us see the summary in just 10 minutes quickly. Quick summary. We know the 13th chapter began with the question of Arjuna. That first shloka is found in some text and some text it is not seen. If not, we have to supply. Prakritim Purusham Cheva. So 6 questions are asked. That forms the entire chapter. Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, and Jnanam and Jnayam. Veditum Ichchami Ekeshava. Then from second chapter, second shloka onwards, the Upadesha starts. So Bhagavan talks about Kshetra Kshetrajna in the shloka from second shloka to 7th shloka. And Kshetram is the Shariram. Idam Shariram Kaunteya. Iti Kshetram is defined. Idam Shariram. Then later he gives the further describes what is this Kshetrajna. Kshetra. That is Mahad Bhuta Nihankarha Buddhihi Abhyaktam Yevacha Indriyani Dashaikam Cha Panchachendri Gocharaha Iti Ichadesha Sukham Dukkam. All these are Kshetram. So having said Idam Shariram Kshetram, further elaborated by Bhagavan, therefore the entire Jagat is Kshetram. Not only the Stula Prapancha, this Jagat is even Sukshma also, it is Kshetram only. At the time of Pralaya, goes to Abhyaktavastha and again comes back. So therefore the entire thing is Kshetram, Achetana Prapanchaha. And what about Kshetrajna, which is distinct from Kshetra? And therefore the one who knows Yaha Veti, Etat, the one who is aware of this Kshetram, that aware is Kshetrajna. That person knows Kshetrajnam Chapimam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. May you know that Kshetrajnam and me, that is Mahavakya. Kshetrajna is me. So that Mahavakya it is Kshetrajnam Chapimam Vidhi. That Kshetrajna, not limited by this Kshetra, Sharir Manasangata, which is obtained in all the Shariram, and that is me. It means the individual and the total are equated. That is, Atma Kshetrajna is Purushaha Paramatma. So therefore, Kshetra Yoho, that Jnanam, that knowledge, the distinct knowledge, and knowing the Kshetrajna to be the Purusha, Mam Vitti, Mam Paramatmanam, therefore Mokshaha iti. That is the topic Kshetra Kshetrajna discussed up to the 7th shloka. Then therefore Kshetra Kshetrajna, 2 topics. Then from the 8th shloka onwards, important shloka, where the spiritual disciplines are talked about, which are equated to Jnana. Not that when these values, spiritual disciplines are there, moksha is gained. These values are conducive for moksha. Otherwise, there is no use of these values. The values are the means for receiving knowledge. For knowledge to happen, these values are there, then knowledge will happen. Amanittam, Adambittam, Akimsa, Kshantihi, Arjavam. Therefore, these are equated to important virtues. And here itself, Bhagavan has highlighted that is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam by saying study of Shastram. That mere these values alone will not give moksha. One has to do Shravanam. Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam means Adhyatma Jnanam, Atma Jnanam, it is Nityatvam. That one has to know Adhyatma Jnanam, gain Adhyatma Jnanam. That is by Nityatvam, by constantly listening to Shastra. So therefore by Shravanam. So therefore all the disciplines are included for Jnanam, Jnana Praptihi, values, and the immediate means is Jnanam, therefore Shravanam. Then the next topic is Nyayam. So 3 topics done. Kshetra, Kshetrajna, then Jnanam. 4th topic that is Kshetra, is Nyayam. What is to be known? Nyayam Yatat Pravakshyami. It is the discussion on Parabrahma. It is Anadimat Param Brahma, the Brahma. Bhagavan uses, we have seen, Adhyaropa Apavada, Nyaya. By that, Brahma is revealed, which is Anadi. It is Anadimat, Param Brahma, which is Nasat, Asat, which is Nasat, Na Asat, Mat Param Brahma. Nasat means it is neither, Na Asat, it is neither existent nor not non-existent. It means not existing as an object. At the same time, it is not non-existent. Means it is Sat. Here we have to know the meaning of the word Sat. What is Sat? What is Asat? Na Asat. At the same time, na Sat. Na Sat means it doesn't exist as an object. That is Na Sat. Na Asat means not that it doesn't exist. Because it exists. It is the Adhisthana, Adhara. So that is revealed by Adhyaropa Pavada method. For this Brahma, which is this Brahma, which is the Param Brahma, which is the Karanam. Therefore, Adhyaropa Apavadena, by that it is revealed. Where is this Brahma? It is Sarvatah Panipadam, Sarvataha Kshishiromakam, Sarvata Shruti Maloke, Sarva Avritya Tishtati. Pervading everything, this Bhagigi, Antaha, Bhutanam, Sarvendriya Gunavasam, at the same time Sarvendriya Vajitam, Adhyaropa Apavada. And it is Asaktam, Sarvabhrut, Nirgunam, at the same time Guna Bhoktra. All the contradictions are resolved by understanding the Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, that is by Adhyaropa Apavada method. When we do Adhyaropa Apavada, Adhyaropa, that is, it is naturally there. Therefore, the Srishti is talked about as though it is, then it is negated. It doesn't mean Srishti goes away. Then you understand the Srishti as Mithya, the Jagat as Mithya. So that is the method employed by Bhagavan to present Brahman. And this Nyayam Brahma, Hridi Sarvasya Tishtitam. It is, where is it? It is the Hridaya of all the beings. Buddhau, Ityartha, Upalabdhistanam. Then from the 19th Shloka onwards, the last 2 topics, Purusha and Prakriti, they were discussed. Purusha and Prakriti, the words are used with regard to the total, Samashti. With regard to the individual, the words are Kshetram and Kshetrajna. So that is only the difference. At the total level, it is Purusha. Ishvara is Purusha and Prakriti Maya. And Ishvara is not bound by, not limited by Prakriti. Maya vitu Prakritim Vidya, Mayinantu Mageshwaram. At the level of individual, Kshetra, Kshetrajna is Atma, but being bound by Kshetra, being as though limited by Kshetra, due to avidya, considers himself to be a samsari. That is the difference. But the truth is, kshetrajna is asamsari, kshetra is this sharira manasangata, this prakriti. So we use two pairs of words, one to refer to the total, other one to the individual, Vyashti Samashti. We cannot interchange. We cannot use Purusha and Prakriti for the individual. Because Purusha and Prakriti, when we say it is for the total. In the total, within the total, the individuals are. So when it comes to individual, that's why Kshetra, Kshetrajna, the pair of words used. Okay, then this, therefore this, and Prakriti is talked about as Achetana, that is Srishti Karanam, etc. Then, therefore, Prakriti and Purusha, Prakriti do not enjoy independent existence. It has got its Adhinatvam and Purusha. And therefore, Purusha, Ishvara is, therefore the Purusha, the Ishvara is free from samsara, doesn't have samsara. Therefore, the Kshetrajna who understands Aham Purusha, that person becomes free. So that is the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna Vibhaga iti. That knowledge, distinct knowledge of both, that is the solution for this samsara. Therefore, the topic goes. Then from the 25th shloka onwards, 25th shloka to 35th shloka, this one summarizes the teaching, and there he highlights certain sadhanas also. In the shloka, Dhyanen Atmani Pashyanti Kechid Atmana Atmana Kechid Atmanam Atmana Anya Sankhya Yogena. There are no different sadhana, really speaking. It is only the sadhana for moksha is jnanam. So whichever stage one is, from that stage one has to proceed. Some people they do vichara, some people they do karma yoga. By karma yoga in chitta shuddhya, jnana yogyata praptaki, then atma vichara. Some people who have done shravanam, etc., then they do nididhyasana, dhyanena, iti. So therefore, there are krama is involved. Whichever stage one has to follow the krama. So therefore, sadhanas are talked about. Not elaborated here. That's just to mention. And the result of the sadhana is samam sarveshu bhuteshu, that what we saw in the beginning of the class. He enjoys sarvatra brahmadrishti, samadrishti, ishvara drishti. Aham karta abhokta ishvaraha eva iti. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram aham asmi jagat karanam brahma aham asmi avinashyatsu sharireshu. Vinashyatsu sharireshu. Vinashyatsu sharireshu avinashyantam parameshwaram aham brahma iti aha pashyati saha pashyati saha janati. So sarvatra brahma darshanam, ishvara darshanam, that is talked about, that is the means for kaivalya prapti, moksha prapti, jivan eva muktaha bhavati. After maranam brahma praptihi, brahma sampadyate tada. The brahma nirvanam videha muktihi. At the end, Bhagavan gives two examples. One is Akasha Drishtanta, Prakasha Drishtanta, by giving these two examples how Ishvara, how Paramatma, Brahma is. Na lipyate karma palena, karmana, na lipyate karmana, karma palehi iti uttam. Therefore, Atma is neither a karta nor a karma. When karta and karma is negated, what about other karakas? All the karakas are destroyed. So karaka upamardan. So these two drishtantas. Then, therefore, one must see distinctly. One must have distinct understanding of this Purusha and Prakriti, and see that Prakriti is not there at all, as different from Purusha. It means Prakriti is Nitya. Prakriti is accepted only in the Vyavaharika Prapancha. From the Paramathika Drishtya, there is no Prakriti. It is as good as not existing. That is Bhuta Prakriti. moksha, then only it is Advaitam, Advayam Brahma. Prakriti also is the Brahma is also is there, then it becomes Sankhya. Prakriti is resolved into Brahma cognitively. So, therefore, in Vyavahara it is, but Paramatika Drishtya, that is a Drishti, that is a vision. So, Prakriti, in fact, do not exist as good as non-existent. So, he sees, that's why Sarvatra Brahma Darshanam. So, iti ye viduhu, te param Brahma yanti, Brahmavit Brahmaiva bhavati iti. The chapter is concluded. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। धन्यवादाः।
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवादः जी।
धन्यवादाः।